Well, Patrick Murphy is a former Democratic congressman. He's joining us now from Miami. Thank you very much indeed for your time. You formed the bipartisan United Solutions Caucus, and that was to bring members of both parties together to explore ways to sort out the nation's money. It sounds very much, at least to an outsider, that the only way to move this process forward is to bring both parties together to talk about this and move it ahead. How likely is that to happen, do you think?
Well, that's what I've been hoping for, because when I got elected to Congress in 2012, I learned very early on that there's actually a lot that both sides of the aisle agree on. But you have leadership on both sides pulling the two parties apart. And I imagine if you were to take some Republicans and Democrats to dinner and lock the doors and ensure that there was no press, no recording devices, they could agree on 80% of the fixes to the Affordable Care Act. But now they're stuck with a president that doesn't understand the policy, has no real goals, has been lying to the American people, and a leader, Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan, that are better at being obstructionists than actually passing legislation. So I hope this is a wake-up call to them, not for the sake of their re-elections, but for the sake of the American people, that they need to start reaching across the aisle to find the common ground. President Obama himself has even outlined some ideas that are needed to fix this legislation to ensure that premiums do come down and actually more people get the coverage they need.
And of course, this started out initially as an idea from a Republican right-wing think tank, didn't it? You understand the intricacies of this kind of process. Donald Trump says that healthcare, Obamacare, should be allowed to fail. How big is the risk that some people might try to force Obamacare to fail rather than just simply allowing it to fail if it does so?
Yeah, you know, it's so disappointing to hear the president, to hear any elected official, whether they're Republican or Democrat, say something like that, because, you know, our job as elected officials, as public servants, is to help the American people out. It's not to win political points. It's not to win your re-election. It's to help people out. That's what this job is. And we've seen continually, time after time, that President Trump and other Republicans have prioritized winning above anything else. And that's a sad state of affairs for our country. So I, quite frankly, wouldn't put it past this administration to start to undermine the Affordable Care Act in many ways, to ensure that it forces a more draconian approach to this, just so the president can say, hey, look, now we had a win. That's not the way legislation is supposed to be passed. We're supposed to think prospectively. We're supposed to help people out, not supposed to be undercutting previous administrations because of an ego or some sort of, you know, conflict that might have been brewing for some time.
Former Democratic Congressman Patrick Murphy, thank you very much for your time.